Buckle up because today we have 4 stories that are going to get your blood boiling. First, a guy hands over his house keys for a termite job, and his security cameras catch the worker doing something he absolutely should not have. Then, one phone call makes a woman finally see her father for who he really is, and she hits the block button. After that, a traveler sits at a restaurant with 7 friends and orders absolutely nothing. And finally, a girl brings a half-eaten sandwich to her boyfriend's house, and he completely loses it. These stories are wild, so stick around because you're going to weigh in on every single one. First up, a homeowner in South Florida hands his keys to a termite company, and his security cameras catch the technician slipping something into his pocket. So I'm trying to figure out if I'm the asshole or not. I have one friend who absolutely agrees with me, one friend who is indifferent, and one who thinks it wasn't a big deal. This is lengthy, and I apologize for that. I don't see any other way to disseminate the facts otherwise. For reference, I am in South Florida. I needed to have my house tented for termites. I got several quotes, picked a company, and hired them to do the work. Prior to the tenting, I hired a cleaning crew to come in the day after the tent came down once the house was clear to help put away everything that was removed and clean out the cabinets and refrigerator since all the food was pretty much taken out. I scheduled with the tenting company, confirming that they would clear the house first thing in the morning. This way, the cleaning crew could schedule the arrival time. The tent went on. The fumigation was done the next day, and the tent came down. The following day, they were supposed to show up first thing in the morning to clear the house and let us know we can go back in. I have cameras inside my house and outside my house. The gentleman showed up at 9 a.m. to clear the house. Opened the doors, let the house air out for half an hour, and then went in to test air quality and remove any of their equipment. With the cameras, I knew he was there, and I could see him moving throughout my home. At approximately 9:45, I watched the technician come out of one of my rooms and put something in his pocket. I was able to pull down the video, slow it down, and zoom in, and apparently he decided to help himself to a beer out of my refrigerator. I watched him slip it into his pocket, pull his shirt down over it, and then walk out the front door. This, I found to be highly unacceptable. I don't care about the beer. I don't care about the value of the beer. I was angry that this employee felt it was acceptable to go through property that is not his and help himself to something. If he had called and asked if we have anything to drink in the house, my wife, or I would have absolutely told him to help himself. Not that I think drinking a beer at 9:45 in the morning is appropriate. I'm also sure that he did not get back in the work truck and put the beer away for the end of the day. But him drinking on the job is between him and his employer. Regardless, he left my property at approximately 10 a.m. Once I saw him remove the beer from my home, I tried contacting the office because I was quite livid. I could not get anyone from the company on the phone or via text. Both are means of communication that I had been in touch with them previously. Furthermore, no one called me to tell me the house was clear. My wife insisted we are not going in our home until somebody does call us and tell us that the house is clear. No, we were not at the home when all this took place. We stayed with some friends for the couple of days during this process. Someone finally texted me at noon to let me know the house was clear. I called the number and was not only angry about the beer, but I was further ticked off because the cleaning crew had shown up, and since they could not get in the house, and I could not give them permission to go in the house, they left, which screwed up the rest of our day. I contacted the owner of the company, which is who texted me that the house was clear. I advised him that his employee had removed property from my home, and I had it on video. He asked me what it was. I said, I'm not going to tell you. You need to have a conversation with him first and see what he says. He called me back and said the employee says he didn't take anything. I sent him the video, and he agreed it was very clear that he had. The employee then admitted that he had helped himself to a beer from our refrigerator. The owner found this to be no big deal. He said if it's a big deal, I'll replace the beer. I explained it's not about the beer. It's that I entrusted him with our home, and his employee felt entitled enough to go through someone else's property and help himself to what he wanted. When you tent, you have to give the company the keys to your home. I got over them not calling me as was scheduled. I wanted to leave a scathing review in multiple places, including the video. However, my wife advised me not to as she was concerned regarding repercussions from this employee. Additionally, the employee was not terminated. According to the owner, he was reprimanded. The owner stated the employee made a mistake. My question is, am I the asshole for being as pissed off as I was regarding the employee helping himself to the beer in my refrigerator and expecting a different reaction from the company owner? Let's see what the comments have to say. This person commented, I had a plumber in to fix a leak in my bathroom. He took an entire prescription bottle of Percocet. I reported him to the state licensing board. Another commenter said, we had a painter do this. Took all but about 3 pills that he left in the bottom. We called him and said he had 30 minutes to return the pills before we called the police. The comments are firmly on this homeowner's side here. They're saying it's not about the beer, it's about the betrayal of trust when someone goes through your property uninvited. But what do you think? So what do you guys think? Was this person the asshole? Drop your verdict in the comments below. Next, after one long phone call dredges up a lifetime of her dad's favoritism, a woman decides she's finally done and blocks him for good. So on Sunday, my father called me on the phone, and we spoke at length about many things, including relations that I haven't seen in so many years. In the middle of our conversation, I asked about his sister's children because he had visited one of them when he traveled to his city and had spent the night at the nephew's house. In excitement, he told me how the guy and his family were doing well, and to quote him, "Oh, it was really nice being with them all, and his children doing so well academically." Growing up, he had always made it clear what he thought of us as children, and how we were bad at school. He also mentioned how his niece had also come around when she heard he was in town, and she had told him she was a content creator and had 5K followers on either Facebook or TikTok. When I asked the last nephew, he told me he was also an engineer in the same city, and he was so proud of them. After our call ended, I sat back recalling everything that had happened when I was younger and how much of an asshole my father had been. My younger brother has been mad at me for 2 years for being so forgiving of our father's treatment of us, and he would always try to get me to remember, but I always felt like those things were in the past and should remain there. However, after the call with my father, it hit me that I have never heard him praise my siblings in either way he praised our cousins. He would call me and badmouth everyone in the family, call my younger brother a pothead because he smokes weed, and shaming everyone in the house. During one screaming episode one had with him, he had told his wife that we were all worthless, and it was because our mom had moved us to a highbrow area where we had fell high and mighty, and if we had lived in a little house in the hood, we would have turned out better. When I was younger, he had mocked me to my face, telling me I was a good-for-nothing girl, and the cousin with 5K followers was employed, in college, and had just gotten married. I also recall a time when he had looked through my notebook and commented, "You all were blessed with such beautiful handwritings. Too bad your brain doesn't work that way." The icing on the cake, however, would be him abdicating everything to our mother, letting her do everything alone until she had died from the stress of it all. And when we were little, he had taken upon himself to train the nephews and niece, leaving us to our mother. Honestly, I don't know how I forgave so easily, but the call had reminded me of the type of person he really was. And the only reason he calls me and not my other siblings is because I'm the only one sympathetic towards him and would help out financially when I'm able to. When I think of it, I wonder if hearing the cousin's achievements made me jealous, but I'm not. It just hurt to hear him talking highly of other people when he has never extended us such courtesy. My boyfriend thinks I went too far by blocking him. So please tell me, am I the asshole? Let's see what the comments have to say. This person commented, "If your boyfriend has a healthy relationship with his family, then he doesn't know exactly what you went through. You do what is best for you and your mental health." Edit to add, even if he doesn't have the best relationship with his family. Another commenter said, "I'm so sorry your father was a psycho to hurt his own children despite your mother. My daughter's father did this too, and his sons when she was born, half-siblings, and he died alone." The comments are overwhelmingly behind her on this one. They're saying protecting your own peace from someone who only reaches out when he needs money isn't going too far at all. But where do you land? If you're enjoying these stories so far, remember to leave a like and subscribe for more. Next up, someone backpacking across Europe with 7 friends sits down at a restaurant and orders nothing at all, then eats off someone else's plate. A few days ago, I was traveling around Europe with 7 other friends, and at one point, they were all hungry and wanted to find somewhere to eat. I didn't feel hungry myself, but I wasn't about to prevent them all from going. We also did most stuff together during this trip, and it would have felt weird if everyone else went apart from me. I had come in with the initial intent to order a drink, but I changed my mind once I saw the menu. All the drinks were really expensive, and I'd already exceeded the daily spending threshold that I'd set up for myself. The waiter came to our table, and I was the only one who didn't order anything. I didn't perceive any reaction at the moment, and the occasion went over smoothly. In the end, one of my friends could not finish her meal, and I ate the remainder, around 1/4 of the original portion. After we were done, however, another friend casually told me that it was really weird that I didn't order. Now, I felt no obligation to do so, since if it were up to me, we wouldn't have gone there at all. Additionally, the 7 other people I went with spent a rather large sum of money there, so it's not like they lost a lot of money from me. So I guess it's up to you guys to decide. Am I the asshole? Let's see what the comments have to say. This person commented, Opie had already hit their spend threshold before even sitting down in the restaurant. So, kind of pointless to even mention menu prices. Another commenter said, mooch behavior is mooch behavior, even when it's done frequently. Yeah, the comments are not having it on this one. They're calling out the whole sit down, order nothing, then eat the leftovers move as straight up mooching. Definitely on the hook here, but tell me if you disagree. So what do you guys think? Was this person the asshole? Drop your verdict in the comments below. And finally, a woman grabs a half sandwich on her way to her boyfriend's place because she hasn't eaten all day, and he accuses her of disrespecting his cooking. Am I the asshole? I brought a sandwich after a long class to my boyfriend's house who was cooking dinner. I went home to pick up my dog, take a quick shower, grab a few things, and go. I hadn't eaten all day and started feeling sick. My mom made me a sandwich that I nibbled on, but didn't finish. I brought it with me to my boyfriend's house. He says it's disrespectful that I brought food to his home, knowing he is cooking that I should have eaten it at home. I think it's stupid. I'll still eat what he's made, but I was feeling sick and needed something to eat. Nothing formal, by the way. No parents, no friends, just him and I. I have dinner at his place 5 to 7 days a week. Edit. I realize I should have been more detailed with the situation. Class done at 4 p.m., traffic, so only made it home at 5, showered, got my things. Left home at 5:45 with plate and half sandwich in hand. Probably not classy, but we've been together 2 years. Got there at 6 p.m., started eating while doing assignments. He had started preparing dinner at 6:15 p.m. I was still eating/doing assignment when he commented that I'm disrespectful for bringing food. I explained why, and he continued to push it was disrespectful. I threw my sandwich out just to end the back and forth. Dinner served at 7:45 p.m. Also, for those curious, sandwich equals chicken sandwich. Not a Subway-sized sandwich, LOL. Let's see what the comments have to say. This person commented, "You were hungry and did not feel well. Ignore him." Another commenter said, "Seriously, what is the boyfriend's problem? Would he rather you faint from hunger and lack of sustenance? It's not like a sandwich can negate his cooking either." The comments are firmly in her corner here. They're saying eating a small sandwich because you're sick and dinner is still almost 2 hours away is just common sense, not disrespect. But what's your verdict? What would you have done in this situation? Let me know in the comments. And that's a wrap on today's stories. I'm dying to know where you landed on each one. So drop your verdicts down in the comments, because honestly, half the fun is seeing you guys argue it out. Did any of these get under your skin as much as they got under mine? I've got plenty more rage-inducing drama lined up, so stick around, because the next batch is just as juicy. See you in the next one.